This is the speaking test for the International English Language Testing System. The candidate is Sigma Bhuya. The candidate number is 52301S. And the examiner is Syed Mahmood. The examiner number is 2109S. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name?
My name is Sigma Bhuya, but you can call me Sigma.
Okay, Sigma, where are you from?
I'm from Narsingdi, but currently I'm living in Uttara.
Okay. So in part 1, I'm going to ask you some question about transportation.
Alright.
What form of transport do you prefer to use?
Well, I think I prefer to use private transportation rather than public because the public is very chaotic. So I prefer the private one.
Okay. How often do you take buses?
Not really much because, as I already mentioned, I prefer private transportation as they're very chaotic for me. So I really use them less.
How much time do you spend traveling on a normal day?
Well, as I'm a student right now, I'm very busy, so I can't get the time to travel. But I love to travel, so for me, I don't travel much.
Would you ride bikes to work in the future?
Oh well, yes, bikes are very convenient as you can go through traffic jams, the conjunction, all the time because of the bikes can easily go through somewhere. So I think bikes are very convenient.
What will become the most popular means of transport in your country?
I think the metro rail, which is newly introduced in our country, it is situated in Uttara Diabari.
Okay, this is the end of your part 1. In part 2, I'm going to share a cue card for you. In this section, you'd have 1 minute time for taking preparation with this cue card. If you wish, you can take some notes. Here's the note paper, pencil is here. This is the cue card. And after 1 minute, you have to talk about this for 2 minutes. Okay, your time begins now. Your 1 minute preparation time's up. Now you have to begin your speech.
All right. So back in 2015, when I was in class 5, my mother admitted me to a dance academy, which is called Purvi Shungit Academy. And I used to learn dance there. And I learned dance for straight 10 years. Before that, I was in another academy, but right now I'm in that academy. Okay, so that time I was very fascinated about dance and I was really into learning dance. And my main focus was on classical dances, which has lots of form like, for instance, Kathak. They have Bharatanatyam. They have lots of variations, but I was mostly into Kathak and Bharatanatyam. So after that, I had lots of other hobbies too. I had lots of other things to do, but mostly I was into dance. So I used to do the dance a lot in my school, in my college, and I had performed in lots of places. And luckily, I won the national dance competition, and I was on cloud 9 after winning that. So that's why I was really into learning dance, and I also teach some students how to dance as they're very little and I know the forms and I was into practicing. So that time it was my main hobby and the main thing to do when I was free. And other than that, I had some usual hobbies like writing journals and also doing photography. I also like photography, but dance was my main intention.
Okay. Now you have to return the materials that you have got.
Here you go.
This is the end of your part 2. In part 3, I'm going to ask you some questions which may or may not be relevant to part 2. What do people in your country like to do when they are free?
Well, it varies on people to people, but I think the younger like to play and the older people likes to cook their, for instance, they like to cook their favorite dishes or they like to go out with their family.
Do you think parents should make plans for their children?
Oh yes, that's a very important thing from my side because when I was a child, my parents used to do the planning and also everything. What should I do in a day or after a month? So I think that's very important.
Do you think most people are able to manage their free time?
Oh no, in my country, people stays very busy as they do work 9 to 10 or also 9 to 5. So they're not able to do anything on their free time instead of sleeping and eating.
Is it important to have a break during work or study?
Yes, that's very important to release the stress in your mind, and also if you want to stay focused in your work, you also need some break.
Are there more activities for young people now than 20 years ago?
Yes, a lot. In 20 years, the world changed a lot in my perspective, and there are also lots of things to do. Like there are also new parks, new cities, new towns, and new things to do. So for instance, you can go to a park with your family and you can just go for a walk. The roads are so nice in this generation. Also there are lots of technological things to use, like mobile phone, their computers. There are lots of games to play.
Okay. What kind of sports do young people like to play nowadays?
Well, there are lots of things to do right now in this world of modernization. There are lots of things to do. But for instance, they like to play like football, cricket, tennis, and other things. But I think right now people are more into video games because this is more easier to do. And they're in the city areas, there are no more grounds to play. So I think they're more into video games and playing, sitting at home and playing with a desk. And also they find the footballs and other things very tedious. So I think the video games.
Can most people achieve work-life balance in your country?
Oh no, I don't think so because as I already mentioned, they work 9 to 5, so they can balance their work and their life. But I think in weekend days they do, but this is a very less time for them to manage everything. So yeah.
Okay, this is the end of your test. Thank you.